right, business friends, let's chat. I'm going to apologize in advance for not looking at you, but I'm driving. So let's talk about the 3 things you need in your business, no matter how big, no matter how small, in order for your business to not just grow, but to succeed. Okay? Number 1 is the finances. That is number 1. It's number 1 for a reason. You cannot run a successful business if you do not know what your numbers are. Expenses, what is your overhead? What is your profit? How is your business actually doing? And that is not to say, my cash flow is not very high. Okay, a lot of businesses operate on a very thin cash flow margin. A lot of them. And that's fine. That's okay. But it's for exactly that reason that you have to know what your numbers are. Because you can't figure out where to expand your offer, where to change pricing, where to, talk to suppliers, where to cut back, which tools you need to look into if you don't understand what money's coming in and what money's going out. Number 2 is a system. And system, what does that mean? Because everybody throws that word around, right? But what does that actually mean? A system means you're not writing things down on a piece of paper. You're not throwing things into a random Google document. You're not leaving every task you have to complete up here. That's not a system. A system means somebody else could come into your business and they would have a reasonable expectation of being able to figure out what is going on, what work needs to be completed, what are your standard operating procedures, right? What is the expectation? What communications have already occurred without having to sit there and ask you over and over and over again? Because the reality is, if it all lives in your head, then the biggest obstacle to you being able to bring anyone else into your business is you. And the third thing any business needs to be able to succeed, and this one's gonna sound obvious, right? But it's outreach. Now, that might look like content, it might look like a website, it might look like a lead magnet with a funnel, it might look like a landing page. What your outreach and your visibility looks like is different for every business. In today's world, generally, it's all of the above. It doesn't really matter what your business structure is or who you are or who you're selling to. In today's world, credibility means I should be able to find a web page or a landing page. I should be able to find content. You should be findable, because if you're not, you're immediately dissolving any credibility that you have. That's simple. So those 3 things, right? You need to know what your finances are. You need to be visible to people, and they need to be able to find and verify that you are trustworthy. If you are in the stage of business where you're struggling with these things, or if you are in the stage of business where you're realizing you can't do it all alone, congratulations. Welcome to the successful part of business where it can no longer be just you. Drop me a DM, drop into my comments, send me an email, and let's chat. Because this is what we do every single day, is help founders, help owners and operators be able to have assistance in their business so that they can continue to grow and focus on the work that needs to be done by them.